All right, so the law of large numbers. I'll go over it again. And it basically says that, I told you about the quarters, right? I'll just draw a graph. What is the probability of tails on a coin? 0.5. So let's just say that's 0.5 right there. And let's take a red line and we'll put a line right across there, meaning 0.5. All right? This is what we call the what? The theoretical what? Theoretical probability. Theoretical. I always want to put an H in there. Theoretical probability. I mean, it's based on what? Two sides of a coin. The coin does not fall and hit on the edge, right? So it has to flip over and hit on the side. So it's going to fall one of two sides. So that means 0.5. So this is the calculated mathematical theoretical probability. You don't even have a coin in your pocket, but you know it's 0.5. If you was to take a coin out of your pocket and you was to flip it as many times as you could to reach that 0.5 probability, it would look something like this. And of course, let's say this is 5 flips, 10 flips. They're coming in. They're coming in to us with the Nigerians. 20, 25, ... 10,000, or let's say 10,000, ... 100,000. Now the reason I put 100,000 is because those two students at MIT, they put an algorithmic or computer generated quarter into a program and wrote the program to flip it. And they flipped it how many times? 100,000 times, and you got a probability of right in here. You got a probability of 0.499995. And that's your what? That's your physical probability, whatever they call it. But in other words, you actually took a coin. Now they did it computer generated. Okay? You could do it with a die. What is the probability of rolling a 6? 0.17, right? 1 out of 6. So your 0.17, just take your... Mute your, Ms. Ballrath, mute your microphone, please. And 0.17 or 0.16 is right here. So you would put, that's your calculated probability. And of course, it's a little bit smaller, I think. I think it looks something like this. Well, don't go below it, but it converges on it. I can't remember what the total is, but I think it's around 4,000 rolls. Around 4,000 rolls, you actually start to get 0.16. Okay? So the law of large numbers basically says if you're going to do something, don't half-ass it. That's basically what the law of large numbers says. If you're going to be paid 5 figures to be a director of quality assurance, or you're going to be 6 figures and you're in quality assurance, or you're going to be a statistician working for an insurance company, or a mathematician working for an insurance company, or whatever you do, if you're going to present something to a board of directors, or you're going to present something to a department, make sure you what? CYA. Make sure you pull enough samples, you poll enough people. And when we get to chapter 7 and 8, we're going to actually do that. Chapter 7 and 8, you actually find out how many people you're supposed to poll or how many people you're supposed to survey. Okay? So does that help you with the law of large numbers? Okay? All right. So next thing I want to cover, we talked about probability. Okay? The probability of King of Hearts. Then I want you to give me the probability of an even number on a die. So what's the probability of King of Hearts? 1 out of what? 1 out of 52. What's the complement of King of Hearts? Probability of not the King of what? Would be what? 51 out of 52. What is this called? Starts with a C. Complement. It's called the complement. Make sure you know that. We talked about that when we talked about odds. We talked about odds, right? Yes, we did. We thought we did. I think we did, didn't we? If not, it's on the dadgum videos. What is an even die? No. 1/2. But how many out of 6? 3 out of 6. And that's equal to 1/2. All right, so that's your basic probability. Let's do a roulette wheel to go over the odds against, just in case I didn't cover it. A roulette wheel, I don't know how to spell it, is numbered 1 to 36 with 0 and double 0. 0 and double 0, parentheses, are neither, or neither, whatever you want to call it. I can't spell. EI words, I can't spell. So if I didn't spell it right, I'm sorry. Is it EI or IE? Okay. Neither even or odd. Okay. A. Find the probability of an even number. B. Find the odds against. And what is the payoff with a $500 bet? Okay, now this is on the YouTube videos. It's from the 103 class, I remember, but I can't remember if we went over that in here or not. I can't remember if we went over the roulette wheel. I don't remember if we went over the odds against. I asked that and I heard a bunch of mumbles. I don't know why y'all can't say yes or no, but did we go over odds against? Okay, thank you for the couple of no's I heard and mumbles. I don't know what that was. So, the odds against something, how do you find the odds against? Well, I know I had somebody in here that's invented it. How do you do the odds against? How do you calculate the odds against something? It's the probability of failure over the probability of success. So what is success here? The even number. So that's the probability. So let's find, and leave it in fractions. When you're finding the odds against something, you need to leave it as a fraction. Why? Because it's easier to do the math. Go ahead and find the odds against and the odds, the probability of an even number and the probability of not an even number. Let me see if Miss Jameson ever... I already have a Skype account. What did I tell y'all? What did I tell y'all about Skype versus Skype for Business? It's what? It's not the same thing. How many times I tell y'all that? Probably 3 or 4 times. And people don't understand why they can't do math and why they can't get a degree. Some people can't follow simple what? And I'm not talking about just one person. I'm talking about students in general. Y'all can't do math and y'all can't get a degree because you can't follow simple A directions. I'm not talking about anybody here. I'm just saying. give you handouts, give you dates, give you academic calendars, and you call me up and email me and say, do we have class Monday? Do I respond? Hell to the no. Because y'all got academic calendars that you can look at. They're on your page. They're on your TCTC page.
Yeah, man. Free. Aren't you just so excited it's about to rain for the next?
Yeah, for the next week. Golly, we sure do need it. My pastures look like dadgum ponds.
You see where the chicken truck went off the bread yesterday?
Yeah. Fish will have a lot to eat. Fish eat chicken. Fish will eat anything. I've seen a largemouth bass eat a chipmunk before. And I've been fishing one time, and a fish actually jumped in the boat. I've had, oh, it was a little fish, about like that, jumped in the boat. And of course, there was nobody there but me, and I just sat there and looked at the fish like, you just jumped in the boat? Of course, it was about that little, I just threw them out. I was like 15 or 16. All right, so what is the probability of an even number? 18 over what? 18 over what? 38. Oh, I'll put 36. Well, guess what? You don't know what you're doing. Okay? How many slots are on the roulette wheel? 38. There's 36 plus the 0 and the double 0. All right, so therefore, let's put a little therefore symbol right here. Of course, y'all don't know it as therefore mathematical. Y'all know it as predator targeting system. All right, therefore, what is the probability of not even? Well, what's the complement of 18 to 38? 20 over 38. Good job. You actually listened. Okay, now figure the odds against. Use the fractions, because if you use the fractions, you're going to see something cancel out. And it helps you out because you don't have to depend on the calculator. So hopefully one day you can make a change when you work at the cash register. And not have some math teacher come in and try to confuse you. So failure is 20 over what? Divided by what? Well, you don't divide by a fraction, you multiply by the what? It's okay, you can say it, reciprocal. And what happens to the 38? And that'll happen every time. And you're left with 20 over 18, which reduces down to what? 10 over 9, which can be written as 10 to 9 or 10 to 9. So the odds against is 10 to 9. Now what does that mean? That means take your $500 bet and multiply by 10 over 9. So take your calculators out and multiply. What's 10 over 9? 1.1 something? I have no idea. What is 10 over 9?
1.11.
I thought so. So take your $500 bet and multiply it by 1.111, whatever, repeating. Somebody give me that number. Oh man, you are ready for Vegas, aren't you? You won $55. You're a loser. You should pack it up and go home, go back to the hotel because you suck. Why? Why do you suck? Why did you win $5,000? Because you made a very weak bet because of the what? Because of the probability, because of the odds, yes. Why did you make a weak bet? You bet on what? An even number. Well, heck, you got a 50% chance of getting an even number. What is the banks, insurance companies, and Vegas all have in common? They are in one business, and what's that business? Making what? Money. Vegas is not into the welfare business, okay? Banks are not in the welfare business, and insurance companies are not in the welfare business. They are in the business to what? Make money. Now, I know that making money is an evil word for some people, okay? But you go out there. Where do you want to go? I want to go to Vegas. I want to go to Vegas, okay? People want to go to Vegas. People want to go out there just to gamble one night, okay, and see what it's like. Now, what do you need to remember about gambling? If the probability is high, that means the odds are what? The odds are low, so you don't make what? You don't make much money. What's the probability on an even number? Somebody do 18 divided by what? 18 divided by 38. Tell me what that probability is. Point what?
0.47.
0.5. You think Vegas is going to give you money on a 0.5 probability? No. So what's the opposite of the probability high, the odds low? What's the opposite of that?
Probability low.
Okay, so we're going to go with the green marker. And we're going to say if probability is low, the odds are what? So therefore, what are you going to make? So let's change this. Let's go right here, and we're going to, let me take a big eraser. We're going to erase that. And we're going to erase this. And we're going to erase this and this. And I want you to find the probability, same bet, $500, of 0 or double 0. Which means basically 2 out of what? 2 out of what? 2 out of 38. Because there's two green slots. Or did anybody know the colors of the odd and evens? Black and red. The 0 and double 0 is usually green on most roulette wheels. What does a roulette wheel do?
You have the ball in.
It spins one way, and then what does the marble do? It spins the other way, and then what eventually happens to the marble? It eventually falls into the, and if you've never seen one, you're lying, because they're in all movies, especially James Bond movies, because he's always gambling. Okay? So,
He always wins.
yeah, he's always, that's Hollywood. Uniforms, cotton candy clouds, and chocolate mountains. You know what's wrong with Hollywood? Some of the actors actually think that their roles are real.
Last time I was in Vegas, a guy won so much money at the casino, they had to escort him out.
That will happen because they don't want you to win.
He was clearing his house.
You know what he was doing, don't you?
Probably bringing the car.
He was counting cards,
Yeah.
which is not hard to do. If you ever played spades before, you're counting cards when you play spades. And believe you me, if you ever been in the Marine Corps and ever been in the desert for 8 or 9 months, you play spades and you start to learn how to count cards. Once person after the second throw, you know who's got the big mo, the little mo, the ace. You know everything. Just after the second throw. So it's easy. Once you learn how to count cards, you can do it. But you got to be what? You got to be smart. You got to be discreet. If you could tell the future and you could pick the lottery numbers, would you go out and win the lottery every single time? No, dumbass. What would you do?
Win the big one.
You'd win the big one, and then you'd go out and play the races a couple of times, and come back. When you blow all that money, what would you do? Well, win another lottery, okay? But you wouldn't win them one right after the other. That's not very smart. But you got people that win the lottery, and what do? They go to the strip club, get beat up, get their truck stolen, and get $600,000 worth. Y'all ever heard that story of the Texas guy that won one of the first lotteries? He won I don't know how much he won, but it wasn't a big pot. It was one of the first lotteries, so it wasn't a big pot. It was like $2 million. So he goes out and buys a big old dump truck. Might as well say it's a dump truck, because that's what you do when you have ego problems. You buy these big old trucks, put smokestacks on them. And then he put not $10 in the console, not $100 in the console, but how much money did he put in the console of that truck? $750,000 in cash. And then where does he go? He goes to the strip club. And guess what? Somebody beat the crap out of him in the parking lot, stole his truck, and stole the $750,000. There's only one word to describe a person like that. Dumb attitude. All right. So what is the complement of 2 over 38? Okay, so we'll put a 0 and double 0. We'll just mark that out. So that's going to be 36 out of 38. So what is the odds against 36 over 38 divided by 2 over 38, which is 38 over 2, 18 to 1. Now somebody take $500 and multiply it by 18. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. I'm mumbling.
9,000.
9,000 even? Now you're talking Vegas. So what do? You go to Vegas, you spend all the money to go to Vegas, you get an airplane ticket, you go out there, you get this high-priced hotel room, and you go stay in it, and then you go down to Vegas to play the nickel slot machines, or do you take $500 and bet it on 2 or double 0 and 0? That's where, some people don't do that. I've been to Vegas one time. About 6 Marines were stationed in 29 Palms, California, in the desert, and we got a 48, meaning 24 hours, we got 2 days. They wouldn't rent us a car, so we decided to get a U-Haul box, what do you call the thing, box truck, a big old box. Put a keg in it, put a couple of bottles of Jack Daniels, and by the time we got to the hotel, we rolled out of the back. Stayed that night, got up next morning, spent all day in the casinos, lost everything I had, barely had enough gas to get back to 29 Palms. So that was my extent of gambling. It was not a good experience.
Do you even remember it?
Huh? I remember rolling out the back and looking at the valets. We had a designated driver. Everybody paid him $20 to drive us there and drive us back. So he made a killing. He made $100 drive us there and $100 back, but about 5 or 6 of us. So anyway, that's what you got to remember. What do you have to remember about odds against? You have to remember this. Yeah, he had to drive the box. He looked at it was a U-Haul, big orange and silver. I mean, it was ugly. And we pulled up.
The funny part about that story, you said y'all were going to valet at U-Haul.
Huh?
Y'all were about to valet park at U-Haul.
We pulled up. The guy pulled up. He didn't know what to do. And we were in the back. We were about dead because it was 105 degrees in the back of that thing. And we're back there drinking beer and Jack Daniels like a bunch of dummies. The whole point of it, we about died, but it felt good when we got out and rolled out because we were about to suffocate back there. Question? Odds against, odds in favor. No problem? Okay. Then let's go to and or. And you can watch the videos because I'm going over this with the nighttime. I'm going over it with the 103. So all of those videos you see on there, when it says like 4.1 and 4.2 or 5 point, that's the 103, okay? So look at them. If it says odds against or if it says additive multiplicative law, that's the same thing. So anyway, multiplicative or additive law. The additive law, you have to remember one thing. Always subtract the overlap. Now, I do not teach this like the book does, and some of y'all that invented statistics, you may not know what I'm talking about. But usually when you're talking about additive law, usually it's going to be in some kind of table form. Okay? If not, you need to make it into a table form because it's a whole lot easier if you do it that way. So one of the examples I use with all my statistics courses is the blood types because it's very simple and straightforward. You got RH negative and RH positive. And then you got O, A, B, and AB. Okay, everybody with me? And we're just going to pull a line right there. 2, 4, 1, 3, 8, 6, 2, 4. So what's the first thing you do when you're given the additive law and you're given a table or you make a table? First thing you do is find the total. How do you find the total? How do you find any total?
Add them up.
You add them up. Add up all the numbers. I have no idea what that adds up to. So I see a 10. So there's one 10. I see two 10s. So that's 23 and then 30. There's no way I could do that again and make it come out even. I got 30. What do y'all got? 30. Okay, so the total is equal to 30. So that's the first thing you do because that's your denominator. That's your denominator. And this is where I tell students to get out highlighters because you need highlighters, colored pencils, or something because you need to find the overlap. So let's say that I give you, and the other thing you need to remember about the additive law is the word or. Okay? In the question, it's going to say, what is the probability of O or B? It's supposed to have the word or in there. Or means you're going to add. Okay? And usually it's going to be the last sentence of the problem, and it's going to say blood types or blah, 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 in the hospital, blah, 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 blah. And it comes out with the following table, blah, 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 blah. What is the probability of O or B? So I'm just going to put an example here. Number 2. Probability of O or B types. So I'm going to take my handy dandy highlighter and I'm going to take my yellow highlighter and I'm going to highlight O. And then I'm going to take my green highlighter and I'm going to highlight B. And I'm going to set up my fraction. Everything over 30. And I'm going to take my yellow pencil and I'm going to put 2 plus 8. I'm going to put brackets around that. And I'm going to take my green pencil and I'm going to put 1 plus 2. And then I'm going to put in red, always subtract the what? The overlap. Well, there is no overlap here because the colors don't what? They don't mix. So if you don't have an overlap, you don't subtract anything. Simple as that. Now you do the math. 2 plus 8 is what?
10.
10. Y'all are so smart. So that's going to be 10, bracket. Things I do for y'all, but y'all don't get the advantage of a poster. But y'all do get the advantage of colors, right? Make sure you put that on my evaluation. He didn't use posters, but he did use colors. And what's 10 plus 3? 13 over 30, and then reduce if needed and put in decimal form. That's how you do the additive law. Now that's one type problem. There's two types, one with an overlap and one without an overlap. This is a problem without an overlap. So let's do a problem with an overlap. Now, like I say, some questions do not put it in table form. And I tell you, the first thing you should do is what? Put it in table form. Maybe one day I'll get training on this and I won't have to do this. Okay. All right. So, 2, I'll be in a wheelchair drooling, but at least it'll be 2050, 2060 maybe. We'll get training on these things. All right. So, probability of O or RH positive. So I'm going to take my handy dandy highlighter, and I'm going to highlight this one yellow, and I'm going to highlight this one Verde. So Verde, and how you say lemon and, how you say yellow in dang old Espanol? Say it one more time. It's not lemon. I done tried that. That don't work. What is it? How do you say yellow? Amarillo. I can't ever remember that. Amarillo. I can remember Verde, but I can't remember Amarillo. Amarillo. That's what I'll start doing. Amarillo. That's what I'll start doing. You can figure it out. Dang old yellow on the board and Amarillo. You can figure it out. Dang old George Strait.
Priority 1 message coming in
Sorry.
on secured channel.
I thought I turned that off. Some damn Russians took over my phone. And the Nigerians. Yeah, they got in my phone. They said they put, I ain't even gonna go into it. I'm not gonna go into it. It's so freaking silly.
I kind of want to know.
Huh?
I kind of want to know.
No, you need to read about it. I mean, it's hilarious. I mean, if you're gonna get somebody, you're gonna set something up. One, set it up to where it's believable, okay? And there's so many holes in the story. First thing they asked for was his phone records. He wouldn't give up his phone records. He wouldn't give him his cell phone. So he printed out, this is what he did. He printed out the cell phone and then marked out the numbers he didn't want. What's the first rule of being innocent? If you're innocent, you don't have to what? You don't have to hide anything. Some people, I tell you, I just don't think they think. All right, so what we got? Well, we got. I'll do the denominator for you. 30. There you go. And then 2 plus what? 8. So 2 plus 8 brackets, and then green. Verde is 8 plus 6 plus 2 plus 4. And then I'm going to put the overlap. Where's the overlap?
8.
Minus 8 out here. Now, this is where I get all the people that invented this. Why don't you just cancel out the 8? Well, what's my job? What do I do for a living? I teach. What do you do for a living? You don't teach. Okay? We clear on that? All right. The reason I don't teach, just cancel out, is because I'm assuming that you what? Know how to do it. Okay? That's the difference between me teaching and you not teaching. That's why. Now, if you do it enough times, you're going to eventually say, oh, why don't I just cancel out these 2 8s? Yes, but what happens when you cancel out 3 8s? You get it wrong. So the best thing to do is just do what I tell you and, not reinvent the wheel until you get several degrees. Then you can do that. All right, so what's 2 plus 8? 10. And a lot of people say, well, you're egotistical. No, I just know students. I guarantee you there's a student out there somewhere who thinks they know more than I do. So, and that's just normal. I can't get the dadgum pen to work. I guess you do know more than I do. 10. And then what's green? If I didn't have to do all this poster crap, I could just write out the numbers. Let's see, 8 plus 6, 14, 20. And then 8 in red. See, I'm trying to keep up with the poster people. 8 plus minus over 30. Looks like daggone Fruit Loops on the board. I guess y'all don't know what Fruit Loops is either. But anyway, I never did like Fruit Loops.
I like Fruit Loops.
What? I like Doritos. I won't eat Doritos because of that. He eat Doritos, dang old cuts his mouth up.
Yeah. You catch one wrong, you're going to go through the body.
Yeah. Dang old lethal. It's a conspiracy. Anyway, what is 10 plus 20? 30 minus 8 is what? 22?
Yeah.
Dang old 22 over 30? Somebody tell me what that reduces down to.
11 over 15.
I know that.
0.7.
Thank you. 0.733? Okay. So that's how you do additive law. How many different types? There's 2 types. One with an overlap, one without an overlap. Capiche? No yawning in class. Get more sleep. Okay, let me check the time for the convulsors. Okay, we're good. We've got a few more minutes. All right, multiplicative law. And like I say, if I go through the multiplicative law real quick, go on YouTube and go through the videos because I've already covered it 2 or 3 times on there for the other classes I know. So I'm not getting y'all, I'm just saying. I'm trying to figure out where to go now. Okay. Multiplicative law. The multiplicative law, you have to worry about one thing. The word is and. What is the probability of A and B? What is the probability of king and queen? What is the probability of 2 and 4 on a die? Okay? Multiplicative law means, the one thing you have to watch out for is with replacement or what? Without replacement. Without replacement, with replacement is independent. Without replacement is dependent. Independent, the mathematics does not change. So what does that mean? Just put a delta there. The math does what? Change. All right, what does that mean? Let's say you got a bag of marbles. Not Marlboros, okay? Bag of marbles. And let's say that bag of marbles, I hit black several times, but evidently. Okay, let's say we got 5 blue marbles.
Pretty nice drawing.
We've got, be quiet. You're still going to fail. We've got 6 green marbles. We've got 3 red marbles, and my favorite color, yellow. We've got 5 yellow marbles. Okay, the first thing you do is find a what? Total. That's your denominator. So 5 plus 6 plus 3 plus 5, 11, 16, 19. Oh well, try to get 20. So total is equal to 19. So that's your denominator. Now, this is how you always remember the bag of marbles. If you get confused about multiplying, if you take one marble out, you reach into the bag, you take one marble out and put it in your pocket. What does that change? Changes the total from 19 to what? 18. So the mathematics change. Okay? With replacement, you pull out a marble, you write down the color, and then you put it back in the what? Bag. Same thing with a deck of cards. What does a magician do when they tell you pick a card? They tell you to look at it, memorize it, then what? Put it back. That's with replacement. With replacement, most of the time, is going to be used. Okay? When you put the card back into the deck, how many cards are in the deck? 52. When you take the card and put it in your pocket, there's 51. The mathematics change. Okay? So that's what you have to remember with multiplication. Something also, when you with replacement, you can just use the exponent. Instead of multiplying 5 times, you can just raise blah, blah, blah to the what? Power. 5th power. Because what's 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2? 2 to the 5th power, which is 32. So if you say 5 draws, or if you pick a marble 5 times, then that would be to the 5th power, as long as it's with replacement. Without replacement is tedious math with the calculator. Without replacement, I don't know how to spell tedious. Is it with an E or an I? It's an E? Okay, tedious. Okay. Tedious calculator math. So some of y'all that, name your calculator and give it a little bed at home and, take it to the bathroom with you, you're one of those people, then you can play on the calculator all you want to. Capiche? All right, so let's do one. Let's say I want to find, if you pick 3 marbles out of the marble bag or whatever, and you put it back with replacement, what are the chances that your marbles are going to be all blue? Okay? Well, that's going to be 5 out of 19 raised to the what? 3rd power. Or 5 times 19, 5 over 19 times 5 over 19 times 5 over 19. Now, it's very easy to start thinking and get confused with these questions with multiplicative law. So, you've got 2 choices. One is you can think and be confused, or the second choice, which I would go with, is what? The opposite of thinking. Don't think. Okay? Don't think too much on these questions, because what you're going to do is you're going to sit there and say, well, what if? And then you're going to end up getting the problem wrong, and it's real simple math. So somebody take 5 over 19, and then caret symbol, 3rd power. What do you get?
0.018.
0.018. Let me ask you a question. Would you bet money on that, $500? Well, if you were a gambler, you would, because if you won, it'd be a good payoff. Okay? But you have to pick 3 what? 3 blue marbles. And that's going to be just about impossible. Okay? Because it's almost 0 probability. Now, what's the opposite? The opposite, okay, let's draw a line here. And we're going to do without replacement. 3 marbles without replacement will be 5 over 19 times what? Well, put it in my pocket. So how many blue marbles are left? 4 out of what? 18. I put that one in my pocket. How many's left? 3 out of what? 17. Now somebody multiply that. Use your parentheses. Do parentheses, 5 divided by 19, close parentheses, times, open parentheses, 4 divided by 18, close parentheses, times, parentheses, 3 divided by 17 plus parentheses. Okay, everybody's leaving. Let me check and see if y'all are going into convulsions. What time's class over? Because I thought class was over like at 9:25. Okay. So y'all can start convulsing around 9:20. All right, somebody give me the number when you get it. Just give me 3 digits. 3 decimal places.
0.010.
0.00.
0.010.
010. Did everybody get that?
Yes.
I saw that. That was gone. 010. 010. What do you see? They're very close, but they're not what? They're not equal. When do they begin to be equal? This is a Hubertism, and we'll put this in green because I don't have posters. After 3 digits / 300. After 3 digits / 300, meaning 300 or above usually. All right? It doesn't matter which method you use. I'll give you an example. And I'll do it real quick. Save y'all from doing the funky chicken on the floor. All right. The question will read, you work in a CD factory. You are quality assurance. You pick quality assurance by going through and picking out 5 CDs. And if every one of them's bad, you're going to send it back instead of sending it to Walmart and let them deal with the refunds. Okay? If you get 5 CDs and they're all bad, then you're going to send it back to the line who made them. All right? And they're going to tell you all that. They're going to say, quality assurance, bad CDs, pick 5 bad CDs without replacement. Why? Because you're a quality assurance manager. Are you going to pick a CD, go check it, and see if it's bad or not, and then put it back in the sack? No. Quality assurance is usually without replacement. Got it? Yeah, I got it, Hubert. Thank you. With a history of 16% being bad. Okay, they're always going to include all that. Okay? They're going to give you a long spiel about you working at a quality assurance. And then they're going to say, you're going to pick 3 CDs, you're going to pick 3 aspirin, you're going to pick 3 records, you're going to pick 3 this, you're going to pick 5 this. And if all are bad, then you're going to send the box back. This box, or this crate, has 5,232 CDs. So the first thing you got to do, let me check the time. I'm starting to hear convulsing. Okay? It's 9:15. I got about 10 minutes, okay? So those of you who are starting convulsing, it's rude. All right. How many are bad? Take the calculator out. How many are bad? Historically, how many are bad? I'm sorry, what? Everybody get that? 16%? Then how many are good? That's bad. How many are good? What's 5232 minus 837?
4,395.
4,395. I'm going to change this to 3 because we don't have time to do, because some of y'all are going to fall on the floor. Okay? Have heart attacks. All right, now, you pick 3 bad CDs in a row. What is the probability of picking 3 bad seeds in a row without replacement? So you're going to put them in your pocket or put them in a bag. So what will that be? Well, the bad is 837 over what? 5232 times what? 5231. Somebody be calculating these right quick. 830, please, because your classmates may die if you don't hurry. Somebody calculate those and give me 4 digits, 4 significant digits. Meanwhile, I want this side of the room over here to do this. 837 over 5232 raised to the third power. And give me 4 digits there. This is without, this is dependent, and this is independent, meaning with replacement.
0.004.
Okay, which ones you, okay, the top one, what'd you get?
0.004.
0.0040?
40. Yes, sir.
Okay, somebody give me this one from the other side of the room.
0.0041.
0041. Much difference? The higher the numbers, it don't matter whether you use with replacement or without replacement. So you need to make that note. If you're talking about 10,000, 5,000, over 300, usually you're talking no difference. So on a test, if you're running out of time on a test and you got this problem here, just do to the third power. Because if the numbers are too big to make a difference. Because they tell you, guess what they tell you to round to on these? I think it's either the third or the fourth digit. And it's going to get the same number. I just wonder if this digit right here ain't 5 or above. Did anybody see?
0.00401287.
Okay, so it doesn't round up. That's usually they come out the same. Okay, who's got questions? Okay, I'm going to call the roll today. I do this spontaneously every once in a while, just so if somebody says they attended, I'll have record they didn't attend all the time. So let me turn off the do-jigger. Anybody got any questions? Everybody feel good about themselves?